Well, everyone, I wanted to take a step back and kind of rewind back a few years ago, back in 2016, when Apple actually went ahead and created probably one of the best budget-tier phones that they've ever made in my life. Now, if you all remember pretty much not that long ago, with the iPhone SE 3rd generation, with the iPhone SE 2nd generation, Apple really didn't do a crazy great job with those devices, and there were a lot of differences we could see at that point from their budget-tier devices to their flagship devices, where we pretty much saw that they weren't really at that top tier price and they weren't really comparing too well with those latest generations. We can obviously tell that an iPhone SE 2 just doesn't, work that well, or it just doesn't compare that well against an iPhone 11 or an iPhone 12. But back in 2016, when the iPhone SE first generation came out, this was a $399 phone, same price the iPhone SE 2 was, and the iPhone SE 3 should have been this price. And this was a budget offering, and in my opinion, as of right now, this was a, kind of a watered down version of the 6S, but this phone, the iPhone SE first generation, has aged much better than the iPhone 6S in my opinion. There are so many advantages with buying an iPhone SE over the iPhone 6S, and the first thing being, in my experience, it's actually been the stability. I've been getting a much more stable experience from my iPhone SE first generation than from my iPhone 6S, and this is probably one of my favorite things about this device. Every single time I've installed an iOS beta on my iPhone SE, even probably stemming to iOS 12 or iOS 13, I've been making so many videos stating that this version of software has been so stable on this specific device. It's been much more stable than my iPhone 6S, and even though the 6S, it was a good phone and it was supposed to be a more premium version of the iPhone SE, I was getting a much better performance and just much better stability from my iPhone SE. That was number one. Number two, for the price tag that this thing was and for the performance that you were getting, it was the same if not better performance that I was getting on my iPhone SE than my iPhone 6S. Sometimes when I would go through and I would open up apps and I would, go through the normal usage, maybe it has something to do with the low resolution display, but I was getting better performance from my iPhone SE first generation than my iPhone 6S for the duration of the years that I've been using it. Now, if you look at it, the iPhone SE 3, it may have the A15 Bionic, but it has 4GB of RAM compared to the Pro's, 6GB of RAM. With the first generation iPhone SE, Apple actually gave us the same amount of RAM on both models, which was so cool. So we were theoretically getting, I think, better performance on the much cheaper phone than the iPhone 6S at that time. Now, the cameras on the back were pretty much the same. So imagine that. Imagine the iPhone SE 3rd generation having the same camera setup almost as the iPhone 13 Pro. That would be insane. And that's kind of what happened with the iPhone SE first generation. We had 4K capability on the back. The front camera wasn't as great as the 6S, but we were still getting a very solid camera on that back camera of the iPhone SE. And to be honest, when I look at the iPhone SE for the past, 5-6 years it's been out, and I look at the past 6-7 years that the iPhone 6S has been out, the iPhone SE has aged much more gracefully in a way than the iPhone 6S in my opinion. So in terms of that kind of covers it up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.